Hello everyone, Lily here. Welcome to my channel. It's been a long time since I've last posted a video here, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but the main reason is that I've been dealing with a health issue that makes it that I do not have any energy, and with the energy that I do have, I ended up spending it on projects that either were more pressing or, things I needed to deal with right away. And shooting videos is really, at the bottom of the list when it gets to that point. Like I have to, like some people here who have spoken of having health issues, I have to manage my time, and I have to manage my time with the energy I have. So that's basically it in a nutshell. But anyway, today I decided to do this video where I'm living here. It's a really hot day and really too hot to go out or do anything else. So anyway, the video I'm talking about today it's to continue. It's a follow-up to another video that I did before where I'm looking at my collection, and I've been thinking about this for a long time, and in a bout of perfectionism I'm trying to figure out themes for parts of my collection, which when it comes down to it isn't all that easy. But I did come up with a theme here. And the theme I'm talking about today is animal decks. And basically I'm looking at these decks, and some I've made a decision, some I'm waffling on it, and some I'm definitely gonna keep. So it's basically a rambling, basically my thoughts on the decks I have in this particular theme. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is this one here. I do not have the box anymore, and it's the Mystical Cat Tarot. And this one I'm keeping. These are the backs. And I'm keeping mainly because it was the first cat deck that I bought for myself. I like the fact that the cats depicted are being cat-like. It's not a question of cats doing human things, but really it's cats and their environments and the way they act. And it's an all-round really good reader, I think. And although I do like dogs, I consider myself a cat person. So that is the Mystical Cat Tarot. This is the next deck that I have on cats. It's the Cat Tarot by Megan Lynn Cott. And this deck was an impulse purchase. I think I had been in Urban Outfitter and they had this deck for sale. So at the time I picked it up. These are the backs. And this deck I decided not to keep. Mainly because I do not like that they do not write what card it is at the bottom for the pips. They have this symbol here with a number. And I find actually that a lot of the cards, well, they don't tell me anything actually. Although this one is obvious, I guess it's the Two of Pentacles. But it's cute. But it doesn't, I'm not getting much out of it when I look at it. And just the cuteness factor for this particular deck isn't enough for me to keep it, unfortunately. So that will be in the go away pile. The next cat deck that I have, the Considerate Cat Tarot. And this had been a Kickstarter, and I believe, well, Madeleine Bélanger is a Canadian. I think she lives in BC. So here are the backs. And the idea behind this deck was that for her, she actually, all the cats featured in the deck are rescue cats. And well, at the time, because I like cats, I decided to back this deck. But unfortunately, it's another one of those decks, like the other Cat Tarot, that the image don't really speak to me. Although the thing is I really like this card because I have a thing about Volkswagen, those old Volkswagen campers, and those little campers, I forget what the name are, from the 50s. Anyway, so the thing is I think this is really cute. But in a way, it's kind of a Pippish deck. You know, like look at this 10 of Wands. You've got 10 of Wands with, you know, one cat with all these branches. I think the major arcana are better. But again, you know, like here's the 8 of Wands with 3 cats going up a hill. But it doesn't really tell you that they're leaving something behind, like a Rider-Waite-Smith card. So this is the Considerate Cat Tarot, and it will be leaving my collection. The next decks I'm going to do are, I have 2 decks here dedicated to dogs. And the first one is called the Lowrider Dachshund Tarot. Super cute deck as far as I'm concerned. These are the backs, and it's all dachshunds, or sausage dogs, or hot dog dogs, like we like to call them around here. And I've always wanted one, but the thing is a dog in our household. Anyway, for different reasons, it's not a good idea to get a dog. But anyway, so this deck is really cute. And I was taking a class not too long ago, and one of the subjects covered in the class was how to deal with grief and using tarot. And the teacher said that she uses this particular deck because there's no people in it. And it's true, there is no people in it. Not even showing someone leading a dog on a leash. So anyway, so this is the Lowrider Tarot, and I will be keeping that one. The Wise Dog Tarot by MJ Cullinan is another one. It's the other deck dedicated to dogs in my collection, and I think I got this at the time when she had put it on Indiegogo, and it's actually, it must have been an impulse purchase, because the thing is I remember when I received the deck, I didn't even remember that I had ordered it. And we recognize her style. This deck is actually really well done. I actually like it. I'm on the fence because I have the Lowrider already. I'm on the fence on if I should keep this one. But you know, this is one of those things, is now that I'm looking at it, you know, it's like one of those things that if I'm far away from it, like I haven't pulled this box out in quite a while, and I'm thinking intellectually, yeah, I think I should get rid of it, or I can get rid of it. But now that I have it in my face, I'm looking at it and I'm like, You know, it's such a beautiful deck. And you know, these dogs are actually so cute. So anyway, this will be a maybe. I'm thinking I'll put it aside again and see if I pull it out. Now let's move on to other animal decks. And these are in no particular theme. So let's start with this one here. Does it need an introduction? I think everyone knows this deck by now if they don't have it. The Oak, Ash, and Thorn. And it's another deck where, well, the animals are acting animal-like. The art is beautiful. Each suit has its own theme. These must be surprise cards. And it's one that's actually, you know what, this one I will keep, although I haven't worked with it a lot, but I do like the images. The only thing I don't like about this deck is how thick it is. But, you know, it is what it is. The next one is a similar deck, and it's the Northern Animal Tarot. And I'll be honest, I bought this deck because it was a Canadian creator, and at the time it was available on Kickstarter. This is the second edition. You know, for an indie deck, even with shipping, it was actually quite affordable. And you know, like Julie at Peekaboo Rose talks about that she doesn't like cards or animal decks with where we show people with you know, putting a head on a body, an animal head on a human body. But I think in this case here, even though they are humanized in a way, or anthropomorphic, anyway, I'll write it down because I know I'm butchering the word I'm trying to find. You know, if you took the clothes out, you could actually see that, you know, the shape of these animals hasn't changed. I mean, you know, they make sense. They're not completely humanized. So, this is the Northern Animal Tarot, and I will be keeping that one. The next deck I'm going to talk about is this one here, the Wild Unknown, and this is the first edition, which is the only reason why I'm keeping it. I haven't made a secret that I have a love-hate relationship with this deck. I love the art. I don't always understand, or I wish Kim Krantz had actually explained her choice of symbolism, because sometimes I find it doesn't make any sense, or it's so subtle I'm not getting it. But I am keeping this deck because it was the first indie deck that I bought, and well, being a first edition with this back, it's I believe it is sought after. The next one I'm going to talk about is Kim Krantz again, and it's the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. This is also the indie version, and this one, as an oracle deck, I've come to the conclusion that for myself, not having a keyword on an oracle deck or a phrase, that means anything. It turns out that I won't pick it up if it means that I have to look up the guidebook all the time. And on the flip side, I do not want to dedicate the time to learn what every card means. So this deck is one that I will not be keeping for those reasons. And you know, is it this one that I've seen where people have actually gone and written along the side keywords for it? I don't like my handwriting enough to do that, and as far as I'm concerned, I think that would ruin the deck. So this way it's in good condition. I mean, it's like new, and it's a first edition that I think it would be easier to pass along or sell if it doesn't have any modification to it. So this one I will get rid of. The Animal Kin Oracle, and this is the Hay House version. And now that I've mentioned that I like keywords on Oracle decks, this one does have keywords. It's just that when it comes to working with animal decks like this, I don't reach for them all that often. And if I need any information on an animal, whether an omen or actually sometimes, you know, like if you see an animal, a wild animal, I've been told that it could be a message. So I actually just consult Ted Andrews' Animal Wise book to see what that message is, as opposed to actually pulling this Oracle deck out and looking at what it means. So since it's taking room in my limited space, I will be getting rid of it. The next deck I'm going to be talking about is the Urban Crow Oracle, as well as it includes the expansion pack. It includes the expansion pack that just came out, and it's by MJ Cullinan. And the thing about MJ though is that, you know, I bought the indie version of it. I don't think it was, I had bought it for 5 minutes that, you know, she came out with an email saying that the Urban Crow was going mass market. But anyway, I decided to get this deck because actually crows, oddly enough, the town I live in, you know, like I know we have crows everywhere, but the town I live in, for some reason, in the winter, it becomes the crows migrate here. And actually seeing something like this with a murder of crows flying around is not uncommon, especially near where I live, because I live near a wooded area where they congregate. So I think that, you know, the keywords are actually pretty self-explanatory here. So it's something that I like. This is the last one, and it is the Messenger Cards by Sandra Coons. This is another one I'm conflicted about, because I really like the art. The keyword isn't so bad, but the thing is that I find it doesn't read very well, and I actually don't like the writing of the guidebook because it doesn't resonate with me. So I don't know if it's because I'm on a different wavelength than Sandra Coots. But it flies over my head. But the thing is that this is from a Canadian creator. And like I said, I like the images. Like there's one I particularly like, and it's this one here. I mean, there's, you know, I don't think there's an image in here that I do not like. Some are subtle. So I don't know about this one. I think I'll put it aside and see if I can work with it. And oh yes. And here's one that I'm not sure where I got it. I think I did buy this on the Kickstarter, but I haven't used it yet. Mainly because, well, you know, like so many decks come into my collection that, you know, it's a question of sitting down and working with them. And this one I haven't yet. So I do not want to get rid of it until I've had some time with it. So it's very possible that it's still in order. Yeah, it is. And I actually like, you know, this art. And what I want to do as well is, I think this one is based on the thought more than it is on the Rider-Waite. So that is one thing too that is on my list of things to do or study. Is I've had this the thought deck that I bought in the 1990s. It actually has the three Fools, I think? 3 copies of the Fool. And it's the pocket size. I just haven't had the mental energy to start studying it. So anyway, all this to say that for now, I will be keeping this deck here. The Brady Tarot. So let's recap what I'm going to keep. The Brady Tarot, the Urban Crow Tarot, the Wild Unknown First Edition, Northern Animal Tarot, the Mystical Cat, Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and the Low Rider. So that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Getting rid of Animal Kin, Animal Spirit, Considerate Cat, and Cat Tarot. So that's 4. The Undecided, the Messenger cards, and the Wise Dog Tarot. Undecided, but they will probably go. And right now, I don't know when I'm going to be putting the decks I'm getting rid of up for sale, or pass them along to people I know. I'll probably be posting them on Facebook, although it'll probably take a while because I actually like, depending on the value of the deck, if they're low values, I actually like to post them and sell them in lots. Apart from that, I know that I have, I think in my last video on a collection, I know that I have some decks that I do not want to keep, but have become desirable because they're out of print. And I also have other decks that I haven't shown yet, as in a decluttering video, basically, because, well, I haven't gotten around to finding out a theme. But all this to say that there's one particular deck that I won't mention here that I'm on the hunt for, that I will eventually put up a post on the Tarot Marketplace that I'm looking for a trade. So I'll be offering some of those decks up in exchange for the one that I'm looking for. So anyway, I think that's about it for tonight, and I hope this hasn't been too long, and I'm hoping I won't take too long to post another video.